Hey friends, let's get down and nerdy today. I want to share the best business strategy that I have ever learned, and it's probably a lot different than what you might think. You are inside of the established portion of the CEO teacher. We teach 6 different steps inside of our programs that will allow you to make a teacher business that not only gets started, but also one that lasts. And over the next couple months, we're going to be going through all of those 6 steps. Establish is the very first portion of what we teach in our 6 step teacher business success strategy. The next step is design, which we'll get into next month, research, market, streamline, and flourish. But I wanted to share a little bit about what we teach inside of our programs. And I wanted just to talk about what business strategy changed everything for us when it was just me selling my lesson plans on Teachers Pay Teachers. And when I decided to morph and really take matters into my own hands. Last week, we talked about the possibility of what if something happens to Teachers Pay Teachers. If you didn't have a chance to listen to that show, we predicted it would be our most downloaded show ever, and it has so far been the most downloaded show in 7 days this year. So thank you all for that. But I wanted just to reiterate how important it is to establish a business and get one that will last a lifetime. So I didn't want to gatekeep anymore. I wanted to make sure that I shared my best secret and my best strategy for building a business that lasts. And stick around, you don't want to miss it. Introducing a brand new opportunity to get your hands on the exclusive and proven reliable formula for establishing a real teacher business. The Establish Your Teacher Business Checklist, it's brand new. And if you're here and listening, I know that this is your next step. It'll set you up with the 10 strategies that you need to know to get started or to grow your teacher business before the last day of school is upon us. Get started creating your very own teacher business by sharing what you are passionate about in the classroom and learn to leverage those topics to grow your online presence. I will take the scary out of creating a teacher business and help you navigate the online space like the rockstar teacher you are. Head on over to caseymorris.com/checklist to learn more and find out how you can get your hands on the official CEO Teacher Establish Your Teacher Business Checklist to start making a bigger impact in the online space today. That's KAYSEMORRIS.com/checklist. AJ Lafley and Roger Martin once said, winning should be at the heart of every strategy. I don't know if you're like me, but I am very competitive by nature. It's really not my best quality, but it's fun. Okay. It's fun. So when I go to the gym, like it's always a race to see, like we have a leaderboard, live for it. I do. I live for it. And so it's fun for me to be challenged and to really push the threshold of what I can do, not only physically with my body, but also what I can do mentally and what I can do in life. And so my kids and I, like I always joke, like the only reason I work out is so that I can beat my kids in a race or lift more weights than them because it's fun for me. I wanted to run a marathon and I didn't tell you guys, I finished. It was amazing. It was one of the best days of my entire life besides birthing my children. And it gave me so much confidence in who I am because it was when things got really tough and they did about mile 23, which I was shocked. I thought they were going to get really tough a lot sooner, but I was living my best life. It was the most beautiful day I'd ever seen. If you didn't check it out, it's on our Instagram. I uploaded a reel of that day. It was picture perfect blue skies. It was like God let us dial up the weather. It was green grass in Kentucky. There were 50 horse farms that we got to pass over 26.2 miles. I was with some of the best people that I know, not just personally, but energetically. And it was like 40 degrees when we started. It was 70 when we finished. Best day ever. Mile 23, though, the going got tough. And I will tell you that my mindset that I have carried with me in my business allowed me to not ever get so far gone where I didn't know if I was going to make it. I will say mile 25, I got to pass a friend of mine from the gym. His name, we call him Zuki. I think we were both crying. I'm sorry, Zuki, to put you on blast. He was crying because he was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I was crying like, we're going to make it. But I was so emotional because it was like this ending of an era for me and this turning of a page to be able to finish this race. And anyways, about mile 23, though, I had to get really, really clear and get my mind really, really focused. And I was talking about being able to be your best self mentally, physically, emotionally. And so every single footstep, that's what gets really hard when you run long distances and endurance race is that you cannot think about the finish. You cannot think about the next mile. You can only live right there in that moment. You can only be in each step. And so it gets really, really hard. And about mile 23, I was like, I got 3 more miles, which doesn't seem that far. But after you've already ran 23, it was like, I don't know if I can make it. And so the mindset that I was able to give myself that day, the pep talks of like, Casey, you can do this. If it were easy, everyone would do it. I'm so proud of you. It allowed my competitiveness to really kind of let go a little bit and just support myself. And so I want you to remember that when we're thinking about being competitive in business or really trying to beat someone else, is that if you carry the sentiment of if she wins, I win, or if I win, they win, it allows you to get out of the where the finish line is and get really clear on who you are in that moment, who you are each step of the way. And so, what I'm going to share with you today, it's a strategy that you may not feel is competitive, even though I shared the quote, winning should be at the heart of every strategy. It is a win win attitude. It is a winning thing to believe that each step you take, whether you think that what I'm going to share with you today is the most monumental business strategy you've ever heard in your life or not, is an important piece to this journey, this lifelong journey. And as I hit mile 25, I remember it was the ugliest cry of my life. We were on a highway and we were on the side of the highway. They had blocked it off. And I remember thinking as the cars were coming towards me, I hope that no one can see my face right now, because it was it was the ugliest cry you had ever seen in your life. But I say all of that to say that I was allowed to be so happy in that moment. It was a happy cry of, I didn't just do this to finish. I didn't just do this for this day. I did this for the last 8 months. These last 8 months, each mile that I ran with these beautiful people allowed me to be a better version of myself. And I got to win on that day internally. And it was this like knowledge and this knowing of, okay, this is just part of the journey. Okay, I'm going to stop with my motivational speech right now and actually give you some educational content. But I wanted to give you this quote, and I've been joking with a friend lately about this quote a lot. So it's funny for me to bring it up now as far as business, but it is so true. The phrase, slow is smooth and smooth is fast, resonates so much, not just in life, but also in business. And it really emphasizes the importance of taking the time to do things carefully and methodically rather than rushing through and missing things. And that's what this business strategy is all about. But before I get to it, I want to go through some business trends that we've done as a company over the years, or strategies that we tried to use that don't carry the sentiment of slow is smooth and smooth is fast, that don't carry the sentiment of a win-win. And I don't believe that they are a strategy people should teach if that's not your style. Now, what I'm going to share is definitely my opinion on these strategies that I don't think worked for us. They could very much work for you, but they are very hot in the online space. So many people on Instagram are going to tell you to do these things, and I don't think you should. The first one is batch recording. It's so ironic that I say that because I am recording this show the day before it airs. Shout out to Sam, our podcast producer. He is the most beautiful human. He allows me to slack on my job and he always gets his job done. And I'm so grateful for that. But I used to batch record, and I got really into this when everyone told you you're supposed to batch record. So I focused in on recording 6 or 8 shows at a time. I did this a lot as I was pregnant and as I was going on maternity leave. And for situations like that, sure. Batch recording, if you want an extended vacation, is a great idea. However, I want to get real. Most people don't have the ability to sit down and record things all at one time. That's including not just limited to a podcast, but including things like your Instagram or your Facebook or emails or products. Batch creating sounds great in theory. It's like passive income. You can make money while you sleep. Yeah, but no, you can't. You still have to work. There is no such thing as passive income for life. I haven't uploaded anything to our TPT store in, I think, probably like 6 months, and I make great passive revenue. But if I don't work on it, the revenue goes down. And that's fine because our business is not solely on Teachers Pay Teachers. But it's very important to know that you still have to play the game. And so batch recording, when you already have a full-time job as a teacher, it really diminishes your ability to be creative. And I found that when I was trying to create 6 shows at one time, I reference the podcast because this is the heartbeat of my business. This is my favorite part of what I do. This is the driver in the seat for us. And so this may be you creating products for you or blog posts. And so I would write 6 podcasts in like 2 days, and then I would record them the next day. And what it did was that the first 2 were great. The last four sucked. They had none of my creative ability in them because I was so burnt out. I didn't have the oomph of like, oh, I just want to keep going. And then when I got to record, once I started recording 6 videos, I couldn't ad lib like I wanted to. I was reading just from the script. There was snail's pace me recording them. And I know that your ears were probably bleeding. So, business strategy that I would not recommend, number one, is batch recording. Number two is content mapping in advance, which is similar to batch recording, but it's more of creating a plan for your social media a month in advance. There are people that will take your money all day long and tell you that. Now, I do believe in content mapping for like your business profile or your company. So, for example, our year is planned out. We have things on the calendar, but we're not so far gone that we can't ebb and flow with life. The problem with content mapping in advance is that, like planning out your Instagram or your Facebook or every single one of your podcast episodes for the year, is that it doesn't take into consideration how the world may change and evolve. Now, a very easy example of this is COVID. If I were to have planned out all of my podcast episodes and I didn't want anything else to get in the way, and then I took those episodes and used them to create Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, I would have missed one of the best money making opportunities of our lives because I wouldn't have been able to bend or figure out exactly how to face the new world that we were living in. And COVID is a big example, but there are so many examples of why content mapping just doesn't work in advance for you because it doesn't take into consideration the trends, especially when we're talking about social media. So I actually have a new plan when I get on Instagram. I don't plan out my week of what I'm going to post, even though I'm posting nearly every day, most weeks. Take out marathon week and flying to Nashville for education purposes last week. But I get on social media and instead of it feeling like a job, I want it to feel like a part of my life. And so I get on there, I figure out some trends and I post something. That's how I content map social media these days. And I'm happier than ever. And I don't feel bogged down. And as teachers, we don't really like people telling us what to do, right? So that's why we create our own lessons. We don't just use what someone else gave us a lot of times. The same thing goes with content mapping. I want you to fall into your most creative self. And I don't believe that you can do that with batch recording or content mapping. Now, if you are type A personality, you could totally disagree with me, and that's fine. That's fine. The next is hiring out quick jobs. The cold hard truth is that nothing is quick. And I believe it is impossible to have someone do a great job on something that you don't understand yourself, which means you need to figure it out first. People don't like when I say that, but I'm a firm believer that you can't ask someone to do something quickly for you that you are not a master at yourself. As a teacher, we know that teaching is the highest form of mastery. It's the highest form of education to be able to learn something, know how to apply it, then teach it to students and make sure they can carry that same sentiment. The same thing goes with hiring out things for your business. You cannot expect someone to create your products the way that you want to when you don't know what you're doing to teach them how to do it the right way. You have to create a system and a process around exactly what you want in order to get what you want. And then a little bonus one is racing to finish a product. I used to do this all the time. I would try to get something done so I could upload it by the end of the day. And oftentimes I would not do my best work. So take your time. Remember the phrase that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Now, I want to talk a little bit about strategic planning. I do believe that strategic planning is important, which I touched on briefly, because it helps you really outline the company's current status and the direction that you want to go in. This is like a business plan. This is an overall vision. We call this the 30,000-foot view. That's fine. This should allow things for like your budgets and your purpose to come alive. And that is what brings me to what I believe is the best business strategy that I have ever learned. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. The best business strategy that I ever learned is that you should be flexible with your time, but laser focused on your vision and your mission. And that is a quote it's kind of a quote by Jeff Bezos. He says, "We are stubborn on vision. We are flexible on details." That's what he talks about when he created Amazon. And so I took that idea and that thought of what I believe is also our best business strategy, and I kind of morphed it into what the CEO teacher thinks. And that is that being flexible with your time is so important, knowing what you can do when you can do it, but be laser focused on your vision and your mission. We also call this our North Star. So, your business vision is really what you want your business to become. If it isn't already, it will help your business grow and help people see who you are, who you serve, and the aspirations. If something comes into our inbox and it is a nasty email, which I can say that we don't really receive anymore, we may have like a miscommunication happen, but like people aren't angry at us, which is amazing. But we always go back to our vision and our mission, who we are, who we serve, and how we want to be important and helpful in the world of teaching. It allows us to take the hurt out of what people might say. It allows us to grow inside of that current year on who we want to become based on what our vision and our mission is. We teach inside of our programs exactly how to create a vision and a mission so that everything else in your life and in your business is easy because it goes back to your North Star. Your vision should be pretty short. I'm going to share ours in just a few minutes and no longer than a couple sentences. Again, we teach this step by step in our programs, but your vision is really a way of communicating your business goals and your commitments to others, whether you say it out loud or you just believe it in your heart and your soul. Our team is all on the same page because we know what our vision, what our mission, and our statements are. Work on your own business vision statement, and I want to encourage you to try to get it out on paper if you can, because it does define your organization. It defines exactly what you stand for. A business mission statement, it should be between 1 and 3 sentences, about 100 words. And a good business mission statement is your business in a nutshell. I wanted to give you some examples. BBC says, to be the most creative organization in the world. Disney is to make people happy. Google, to provide access to the world's information in one click. IKEA, to create a better everyday life for the many people. And Instagram, to capture and share the world's moments. People call this their elevator pitch, but I really like to think about it as what is your mission statement and how can you serve? So I wanted to share what our mission, our vision, and most importantly, what our core values are. So if we ever have a moment where we go, should we do this? We go back to our core values and we say, does it align with our mission, our vision, and our core values? And if the answer is yes, then we should do it. If the answer is no, then it's a heck no. Our mission here at the CEO Teacher is we help teachers keep doing what they love while making a bigger impact and income by selling their talents online. Our business vision is to empower every teacher to teach what they are passionate about. And our core values, or home plate for us, is we believe in valuing all people and practicing empathy daily. We clearly communicate so others know their expectations and their value. We believe in collaboration over competition and supporting one another to reach our goals. We believe in creating detailed systems in order to efficiently serve our communities. We value setting and respecting boundaries. We work hard so that our time away from work is refreshing and it fills our cups to be able to give our best to our team and to our community. And finally, we are passionate about learning and seeking to improve constantly by evaluating our choices to support and enhance our students' journey as a CEO teacher. I get like all like butterflies and warm and fuzzies when I read that because we live and breathe that every single day. So remember, a company's vision and mission statement, it can help you achieve your goals. It can create a shared understanding of your company's purpose, even if you don't believe you have a quote unquote company just yet. It can inspire employees to work towards a common goal, and it will be the framework for decision making that will help everyone in the organization work towards the same objectives. I hope you enjoyed what I believe is the best business strategy that I ever learned. And I hope you'll take the time today to sit down and really think about what your core values are, what your vision and your mission could be for your business. And if you're looking to establish a real business that lasts, we've created a brand new checklist. If you go to caseymorris.com/establish, you can download our new checklist for helping you establish a business just like the ones you've heard in our recent shows. That's KAYSEMORRIS.com/establish. And I hope to see you tomorrow night. That's Thursday for Teacher TV on Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are having the most fun ever. If you go to caseymorris.com/RSVP, you can RSVP to join us tomorrow night, every Thursday for Teacher TV on Facebook. Thanks so much for listening. As always, remember, your best is yet to come, and I'll see you right here next week.